everybody, welcome back to Dunrovin Ranch in lovely Lolo, Montana. It's a gorgeous day. Maybe a nip in the air when you're in the shade, but it's picture perfect. Beautiful clouds, blue sky. I'm going to guess 65, maybe 70 in the sun. This is Boots on the Ground, our Tuesday afternoon broadcast during which I show you something at the ranch that you can't see from the cameras. Now, I would say the majority of you have not been to the dance hall. Some of you have when you visited us, and in fact, our very own Gab, aka Giz, was here for 4 days. She worked very hard. We don't know what we're going to do without her, and she was an absolute pleasure to spend time with. And I'm sure she came here to the dance hall. Let me see. The dance hall, you can see kind of from the ranch cam. If you flip it around toward the river, you can see the roof. To my left is what we call the bench, where our fire pits are, and Annie's gorgeous trees down there at the end. To the right of me is guest lodging and the miller's home. This way, I'm looking right at the tool shed. And to the left here again, and to the left and a little bit that way, is our south pasture, where we've got crow on this half and the herd on the other half. The dance hall is about 20 by 40 feet. We've had lots of weddings, reunions. We had a birthday party yesterday. This is where the village seniors had their luncheon. It's wonderful. It's very rustic. Lodge pole, I believe. Beautiful barnwood floor that Suzanne had stained a little bit last season, so it doesn't deteriorate. We have little lights strung up all over, which is beautiful in the evening. Suzanne and Sterling have an amazing system for keeping the tarp up. We've got ropes going over the top and ropes going underneath, which sandwiches the tarp and keeps it from flapping around too much. It's genius. We have tarp on this side, which always stays down for privacy. We have a tarp on this side, which you can roll up or roll down depending on the weather. And we have the same system on the back wall, a tarp that you can go up or go down, apparently, depending on the weather. Shout out to tarpsbless.com. I love their tarps, and when you find something that works at a good price with good customer service, I have to just say hey to them. I've used their tarps for many years. We can set up in here eight nice picnic tables. We have our banquet tables and chairs. We have power, and we have a speaker system. So weddings can have a DJ here. We've had bands here. You can use a little iPod and just plug it in and get all the music you want. It's a very, very smart and very efficient setup. In the winter, when the weather really starts to come, we put the doors in the front and roll down and securely attach the side tarps. And what that does is keep too much of the weather from coming in, and the doors keep the wind from coming in, which would blow the tarps off. So that's a very smart system as well. What I would like to point out is our riparian, which you've heard us discuss. That's where the herd grazes occasionally. It's where it floods in the spring. And there's a fox den right off the bench in the riparian. I was walking Crow down there yesterday to get him used to things banging on him, leaves and branches and whatnot, and a huge, beautiful fox ran right out in front of us. So when you come back this way, it's just gorgeous. There's a beautiful walkway down to the riparian and water for our stock tank when we have horses down there. And just across that way is the Bitterroot River. Some of our trail rides, depending on the height of the river and the experience level of the guests, we don't always come back across the river that way during our river ride. Sometimes we come back this way It's a little deeper, a little faster. I know Suzanne brought some people back there the other back across that way the other day. So you can come back. There's a locked gate after you cross the river. Come up the riparian, and you go back up that way. I know you've seen us take the horses down to the riparian, and that's just down past the manure pile and that way, and sometimes we can bring them up this way. What else can I tell you? This decorates beautifully. We can hang flower baskets right there. I think actually if you put an indoor heater in here, propane heater, I think you would stay pretty cozy. It's so relaxing here. I just spent about an hour in Missoula, and I can't believe that was too long. It's so nice to be here. This is our dance hall. I hope you enjoyed the little tour. I hope you get to visit us someday. At 2 o'clock, I will be interviewing someone you've seen and someone you've heard mentioned, but someone you've never met. He's actually in the office right now, making sure that the camera shot is good and making sure the audio is good. His name is James Wassam. He's going to be my guest on the walkabout at 2 o'clock. We might even do it right here, which would be nice. That's all I can tell you right now. On tomorrow, I believe we have Tall Tales, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, tonight we've got at 5-ish, we have donkey training with a new person to work with Mac, and that is our very own Taylor. We'll be working with the divas. She actually, when she was in Texas, she had her own pony ride petting zoo business. So I think, well, the divas could be a match for her. We will see how that goes. And then after that, the Cola is taking a rest from training, and Mac will work with Arrow and me. We will see who needs the most training, Arrow or me. Yeah. It's a great question. A buffalo head. I think it might just be a cow, a steer. I'm not sure. That's an excellent question, and we'll find out. There are a couple small, couple sets of antlers in the back as well. Those are small. There's a nice little bird's nest up there as well. You guys have good eyes. Interesting. Well, interesting about the skull is it did have, oh, lots of bees. It did have some, I don't know what they're called. They were part of the horn, kind of an outer coating, outer, I don't know, horny kind of thing. And one day I found one on the ground, and Arrow had discovered it. It had fell down, and Arrow thought that was a nice chew toy, and we hid that from him, and the other one is actually missing as well. There's always little tidbits you pick up when you join us here. Is there any more questions? All righty. It's really nice in here. You know, this would actually be a nice place to just kind of spend the night, you know. It's very peaceful back here. Yeah. So I see up here there's a couple, maybe those are for lights, or I know. There's a couple little platforms up here that are wired to the front wall. I bet those are for speakers. Speakers or lights. Massage chairs? Okay. Now, James, can the members hear you? So James is talking to me, and he's making funny comments, and I wish you could hear them, because now it appears that I'm just saying weird stuff out of nowhere. Next, and James just says, I gotcha. So, and next time we're going to make James mic up with me. Or we can bust him on it at 2 o'clock, Montana time. The teepee is still up. Hawk was going to take it down before the snow came, but we are in the process of setting up an interview with Hawk, which we will do with him down at the teepee, which would be great. If we could possibly get the camera inside, that'd be fantastic. But the teepee is down there. It's very cool. I've never seen one before. And it's basically a one-person job to put up and take down. It's a very simple, very smart bit of engineering. Hawk will be here tomorrow. I think 8 a.m. he has one of his historical river rides. He's going to take someone across the river, come back, go into the teepee, and give his historical presentation for that particular guest. Yes. Awesome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me at Dunrovin Ranch in lovely Lola, Montana. Please stay tuned, or please come back at 2 o'clock because you're going to want to meet James. I will be nice to him. I'm not so sure he'll be nice to me during the interview, but we will see. Anyway, put your questions in there now if you want to know anything about how our tech works, what his plans for the winter are. Hello, Magpie. And I'll be sure he answers them for you. Thanks again for joining me. We'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye, everybody.